What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering, back in the studio. Happy to be home. All my kitties and my puppy Huck. Of course, my, wife and all that. It's all great. Sleeping in my own bed. Feels good to be home. Feels good to be back on my grind. I'm going to have probably, 6 videos for you today, as well as the resurrection of my Midwesley channel. Also, in each video today, I'm going to remind people that I am moving my primary mode of communication away from Twitter and Parler to use exclusively Telegram. And I started a channel there. I'll leave a link in the pinned comment. It's t.me/the Quartering YouTube, like YT, the Quartering YT. You'll be able to interact directly with me there. Obviously, it's free. I just find it infinitely better than Twitter and Parler right now. I just don't want to be using Twitter anymore. And until such a point in which Parler becomes viable again, there's no point. Telegram, it's just way easier once you install it. So huge news. Join me on Telegram, obviously, but massive news. Now, I was just perusing Brie Larson's channels. I don't watch every video. I watched her fundraiser here, advice to our younger selves, just a great video. 59,000 views, 530,000 subscribers, and her video from 3 days ago got a whopping 19,000 views. Is this channel dead already? I mean, you have the Dolan twins in your video and it only gets 100,000 views. This is really heartbreaking for Brie. I mean, I think in just 1 week, you see her stretching routines, that kind of stuff, seem to do pretty well still, but it's a tough week for Brie. But maybe it's just in general, maybe there's just not a lot going on around Brie Larson, except for the fact that it is now being reported that Brie Larson will play a new Jedi that is stronger than Darth Vader. Why? As you guys know, I've gone from this kind of adversarial relationship with Brie to one where I respect her hustle. In fact, I really don't have any strong feelings against her. But if this is true, this is probably the worst thing they can do for her. Why? You already brought her in, inserted her as Captain Marvel, and said, Captain Marvel, played by Brie Larson. Hardly anybody knows who this character is, but she's now the strongest character in the MCU, going toe-to-toe with Thanos pretty easily. Appearing in just 8 seconds of the of Last Avengers film and having more impact than basically everyone combined. But if you bring her into the Star Wars universe and then you insert her as the Mary Sue of all Mary Sues, I just don't know how on God's green earth that this is going to be good PR for, first of all, Star Wars, second of all, for the franchise. Brie Larson carries with her baggage, okay? Because of her comments several years ago and her, I don't really care what some 40-year-old white guy says about my movie. And people remember that. Anybody you insert into any existing franchise to just say, they're the most powerful now, it's not going to go over well. Star Wars could be getting a timeline reboot in an upcoming Disney Plus series, a new report says. Not only will new characters be introduced, it will star Captain Marvel actor Brie Larson as a Jedi more powerful in the Force than Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader combined. This is like in trading card games, power creep, right? Like, we don't have time to create a new interesting mechanic, so we're just going to make this card that's just way more powerful than everything else. After The Rise of Skywalker was released, the future Star Wars series had been shrouded in mystery. Many of the franchise's noted leakers have since been telling of an upcoming reboot of the cinematic universe, which will allow Disney to explore new events and timelines in their upcoming Star Wars TV shows on Disney+. Mike Zara's latest information involves a casting of Captain Marvel star Brie Larson as a new Jedi who is looking for an unimaginable power, except it would sound like they've already found it, given you're more powerful than Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader combined. The newest video discussing the franchise tells how Larson's character would come about. He said there will be a brand new Star Wars universe with brand new mythology. The leaker went on. Brie Larson is going to portray a new character called Maeve in a new timeline of the franchise. It will involve her character being more powerful than Anakin and Rey combined. Maeve becoming more powerful than Rey and Anakin Skywalker, better known as Darth Vader, would be a huge change in the series. Why would you do that? Seriously. Like, this isn't fair to Brie Larson. I mean, I'm defending Brie right here. I'm simping for Brie. Why on God's green earth would you do that? If you come out and you establish, this character that was like, you've all seen as the most powerful character in the franchise for the past 40 years, or 30 years. Yeah. But check this out. This new character is way more powerful. They didn't earn it. They're just going to start out in episode 1 as more powerful than the two most powerful characters in the franchise. I suppose you could argue about Palpatine's powers, but you get what I'm saying. This is the most Disney thing that Disney could do to the Star Wars franchise. He went on to reveal that the TV series would follow Maeve, would watch her tracking down a power never before seen in the Star Wars franchise. He says that Maeve is set to go on a journey to find an ancient Force power that is stronger than the light and dark side of the Force. Maeve is set to discover and obtain and learn in this new show. I mean, look, part of me just doesn't believe it. It is so insane. It is so absolutely over the top absurd that it's nearly impossible to even believe. First and foremost, there's a logistical issue. This has come up every time people are talking about Brie Larson into the Star Wars franchise, because quite frankly, where's Captain Marvel 2? They barely started working on that. When exactly is she going to film, a huge budget, billion-dollar franchise movie like Captain Marvel 2 and also film a Disney Plus series? I suppose it's not impossible, as we see Pedro Pascal will continue to star in The Mandalorian as well as the Last of Us series for HBO. So it's not impossible, but it seems like a huge barrier. Secondly, the same character in both the MCU and in Star Wars will be difficult for people to suspend disbelief. It'd be like if Iron Man appeared in Robert Downey Jr. appeared in Star Wars. It would just be like, oh, why is Iron Man in my Star? You got Iron Man in my Star Wars. You got Star Wars in my Iron Man. But that said, it's entirely something that I could see Lucasfilm doing. Now, she's got a lot going on in this new series. On top of tracking down a new Force-like power, she's involved in a brutal Jedi battle. While the warrior is not part of either the light or the dark side of the Force, she would go on to find allies on both sides. Of course, because she would be just so powerful. Even more dramatic is the inclusion of third-party villains looking for one person in particular. The leaker went on. The series will also involve a brand new enemy from a brand new galaxy. Maeve's or Maeve's, I'm not sure exactly how it's pronounced. New power is what the enemy seeks. The new enemy would be no match for her, however, of course, because Mary Sue, obviously. However, as Larson's character is somehow stronger than Luke, Anakin, and Rey combined because of her link with some powerful aliens, Zero said that she's set to be connected to the Whills, who are godlike beings who help her discover this new power. She's also set to have different levels of her own power in which she can evolve and to be explored in the series. In the Star Wars Extended Universe, the Whills are almost deities in that they're connected to the midichlorians, sorry, otherwise known as the Force, in ways that humans could not imagine. Now, I'm not an extended universe knowledgeable guy. I assume that's true, but that's neither here nor there. George Lucas said of one of the creatures, the midichlorians are the ones who communicate with the Whills. In a general sense, they are the Force. Zero added that Larson has begun, quote, training for her upcoming Star Wars TV show. However, this report is not confirmed. There are a lot of questions I have about this and the validity of this particular rumor. One, I'm not familiar with this leaker, so I can't exactly vouch for them. And two, if she was already training for a brand new Star Wars television show, why wouldn't it have been announced? They announced almost a dozen shows just a few months ago. It would have been on that list. There's no reason to not have announced it. The only thing, you could argue is that they didn't announce, the Cara Dune show or something like that because they knew what was going on there. But why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you have announced that? Now, Daniel Richtman is a little more reliable and says Hollywood insider Daniel Richtman has also claimed that Larson is in active talks to be involved in a new Star Wars project. I mean, it sure seems odd to me, but you see Lucasfilm reportedly developing the biggest Star Wars movie yet. Would Brie Larson play in a Disney Plus series? That seems like a step back for the big screen, but I do think that in a lot of ways, the big screen is kind of just gone. Like there isn't anybody, we're never going to see these big box office numbers again. Disney's going to continue to hide their ratings and viewership numbers. So it'll be interesting to see just how far down the hole Disney can run Star Wars. What do you think? Do you think this is a rumor? Or do you think there's validity to this rumor? How do you think it would be received? And how badly has Star Wars been demolished? I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.